Never take a break from anything because you won't go back to it. Number 5. Number 5 is also one of my dissertation books. It's The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, and it's the longest book I've ever read. I had to read this for my English dissertation, as I said. Yeah, so going into it, I was a bit adamant about actually reading it. It's 864 pages. Longest book I've ever read. Yeah, I'm pretty proud saying I read this when I was 16. Yes, I thought it was a brilliant book. What got me was a downside to it is it is very long. There's a lot of descriptive, she always describes the settings very vividly. Everything in this is valid and everything is poetic and nothing is just put in for the hell of it. The novel starts off when he's a kid and he's called Theo and he loses his mum in an explosion in an art gallery that he lives through, and that he ends up with survivor's guilt because he's like, why didn't I die? Why did my mum die? It's sort of his fault that they're there at the gallery on a school day in the first place. Then he ends up going to have to live with his dad in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a very lonely time for him. He lives way out in the middle of nowhere. He only has one friend called Boris, and he gets into drugs and alcohol and he slowly just goes downhill. When he was in the gallery explosion, he picked up a painting because a dying man told him to take this because robbers would come and steal it if he didn't take it. So he takes this painting called The Goldfinch and he takes it home with him. And he's a kid, so he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's scared that if he gives it back, the people will think that he's stolen it. So he keeps it, and even as he grows up, he's 20 now or something, and he has this painting, and it's even more dangerous because, if he hands it back now, it's gonna look like definitely he stole it. How can he explain, I was a kid? And they're going to be like, well, you're 20 now, why didn't you think to come forward before that? So yeah, it's all about trying to get this painting into the hands of somebody else or back to the museum somehow without getting put in prison. But along the way, he's trying to find friends and people he can trust, in general a place to stay because his mum's dead, and then his dad, he has situations with his dad and he's just getting passed from one home to another. It's a very restless book, and Theo's a very anxious character, and you see that as he gets more and more passed around, you really see him dissipating throughout the novel, and it's sad, and he finds it hard to have a relationship because he's stuck in the past constantly with his mum and her death. It's an amazing book. You should read it. It's so different from anything I've ever read before. I think because I do read a load of YA, when I pick up a novel like this, it's not difficult, but it's just so different. I have no doubt that this book is going to be passed down. This book's going to go on for a very long time. It's going to win loads more prizes, and yeah, this book's not going anywhere anytime soon. I gave this 5 stars, and yeah, you should read it. Definitely. I didn't read this book this year. I'm pretty sure I read it for the first time last year, but I just freaking love this book. The author, she's Robyn Schneider, is an absolute pixie of a woman. I love her. She's absolutely fantastic, and I can't even tell you, but she's so good. She's so good. I have both the American and the UK versions of these books because my boyfriend is amazing and he bought me the American one and I have the British one, and it's okay. So in the UK it's called Severed Heads and Broken Hearts, and in the US it's called The Beginning of Everything. It's about this boy called Ezra Faulkner, and he injures his leg in a car accident, and he used to be this top athlete, really popular at school, and then all of a sudden he breaks his leg and he can't play tennis anymore, and that was something he was always well known for, and he's knocked down in school and he doesn't feel comfortable sitting with his friends anymore, and he ends up with this bunch of absolute his new friends are just amazing. I love them. He ends up sitting with one of his old primary school friends, and they really get along, but he just feels so awkward all the time, and it's that thing that you're trying to fit in and you're trying to be yes, this is good, but you're constantly looking at what you used to have and thinking that this is so different, this is so uncomfortable, but still it's good. This book is such an adventure. I can't say anything else. This book makes you want to go out and just do things and just be this crazy teenager who just does weird things. So when I say I want my life to be a young adult novel, this is the sort of novel that I'm thinking of. And then this girl comes into school, and her name Cassidy Tharp, and she oh wow, I love Cassidy Tharp. Cassidy Tharp she's brilliant. She is so like outgoing and like unpredictable, and she just does things, and she goes on so many adventures, and she's been so many places, and yet Ezra can't like figure out a thing about her. Like, where did she come from? Where did you go? Where does she belong? There's like something off about her that he doesn't really understand. They go to like debate tournaments together, like all the friends, and it's so fun. This novel is so fun. I love this novel. I want to be in this novel. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It's just such a fun book, and at the end you are told something it ties Ezra and Cassidy together, not in a like romantic way. Like, it's like a plot twist sort of ending, and it's just really beautiful. This novel is so beautiful. Yeah, I feel like I've just completely like bullshitted this whole review, but this, like, I can't, like, I'm trying to tell you that this book is everything. This book is like my existence, and I can't, because just please read this book, please. This is my favourite ultimate book. Even the last line of the book, like, I can't tell you the last lines of the book, but like, it made me cry a little bit, so I'm like, yes, like, life is for living, guys. Let's go out and like have a picnic in an elevator. Yes. I'm scared of elevators. 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know, like 10 out of 5 stars. I love it. If you're gonna read one book in your life, read that book. My 7th favourite book of 2014 was Beautiful Malice by Rebecca James. This girl moves away from her hometown and starts a new life because something really disturbing has happened in her past. And she meets this new best friend, and her best friend's outgoing, and she's smart, and she's funny, and like, all the boys love her. She's crazy. She is crazy. This book is just, like, I'm reading here and it says it's seductive, and it is. Like, this book is just, it's so mysterious. Like, there's so much mystery in this book. Yeah, in the end of the book though, you find out like what was so disturbing, and it really hit me. It was something like, it is really disturbing, and like, her friend just completely, like, that's not a friend. That, like, I can't stress how crazy her friend is. Her friend is so crazy. You should read this book to find out why she's so crazy and what was so disturbing. I kept reading it because I was so interested by her friend character, the one who's like completely crazy, but also to find out, you know, what was so disturbing and stuff. But also, you knew that something was like off with her friend. Like, you really just wanted to know like what was up with her friend, and when you find out in the end, like, whew, it's some dark stuff. I couldn't put this book down either. Like, it was, you just keep reading it. It has such a good flow. I gave that 5 stars as well. The 8th book was Every Day by David Levithan. I've read 1 David Levithan book. No, 2. Will Grayson and Dash and Lily's Book of Dares, and I love them both. He doesn't just write, you know, like, he writes with such conviction. There's not one lazy sentence in that book. Every line in that book can be quoted. It's that poetic, and that's like that beautiful. And basically the synopsis, it's like about this person who changes body every day. Like, every day they wake up and they're like a different person, they're a different gender, they're like in a different place. One day they wake up and they are in the body of a boy. They meet his girlfriend and they fall in love with her, and every day they try and get back to her. It's really like sad, and it's really emotional. It's a beautiful book, and you see the world through so many different perspectives. Like, it's an eye-opener that like everybody is different, and not everybody has the same life, and you know, people's lives aren't always what they seem, sort of. You should definitely read it. I definitely recommend it. 5 stars. My 9th book is It by Alexa Chung. I absolutely adore Alexa Chung. I think she's amazing. She's just so interesting. I love her. If you don't know who she is, she's like a model and a presenter and an artist, and definitely like you see this throughout the book. I can't really explain this book. It's just like her thoughts, and she was going to go to art school, so there's a lot of her art in it, but also like there's a lot of pictures, and she talks about where she gets her style from and where she gets like her inspiration. For example, there's like Lolita. She tells us how Lolita is her favourite book. There's, can't remember her name, which is really bad because that's a Wes Anderson film and I can't remember. Oh, Margot. That's it. She talks about the different films that she likes, the different books that she likes. She talks about like her life experiences, and she gives good life advice. The thing is, a lot of people felt that this book was lazy and that she was just trying to, you know, like write a book and get some money out of it. And I can definitely see how people would think that. I myself didn't think that, but the thing is, I love Alexa Chung, so I did just want to hear her thoughts and see her art. If you're a fan of Alexa Chung, or just like a fan of art or fashion in general, this is a very really nice book to have. It's very pretty as well. I really like it. I really like Alexa Chung. I don't know if you would like it, but I recommend it still. I gave it 4 stars. And we get to the last book, a book of short stories by J.D Salinger, and it's called 9 Stories. See, I would always sit and be like, I love The Catcher in the Rye, and then I was like, you know what, I should probably pick up something else by J.D Salinger, because if I love The Catcher in the Rye so like deeply, then I would probably like his other work. And I was not wrong. Like, I really enjoyed 9 Stories. They're all so different. They all smoke in it. That's the one thing. A Perfect Day for Banana Fish is so strange. My favourites were Pretty Mouth and Green My Eyes and Just Before the War with the Eskimos. Those are my 2 favourites, but I pretty much adored every story in this whole book. It was brilliant. So yeah, that's my top 10 for 2014, and I feel really positive about 2015, and I know everybody does when it gets to a new year, but I definitely do, and I'm definitely going to try and beat 34 books, definitely. I'm gonna organise my like reading whiteboard where I write all my books better so I can see how many books I've read. I'm excited though, and hopefully you get a lot of books read too. And yeah, comment down below if you liked any or are planning to read any during the new year, or even your favourite books of 2014. This is my first YouTube video on this channel. Yay! Okay, thank you.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?